And I'm sure some people doing it were like, oh, yes, I've done this before. I understand what this is, right? You have your goal and you have your branches. But the thing that gets missed is the roots underneath the tree. And this brings the second thing when it comes to this goal setting that you should be doing. One, set a goal that you absolutely have control over so you can get momentum, feel good about yourself. The second thing, which is the biggest reason people don't accomplish their goals, is they're only focused on the goal, but we have to dig deeper. Welcome to Get Seen Unscripted. I'm your host, Jesse Malinowski. We are going to dive into acting insights, meet industry pros, and master the business. Don't forget to subscribe and share. We're keeping you behind the scenes and ahead of the game. Welcome to a super special episode of Get Seen Unscripted. I'm going to go over a really incredible goal-setting formula to make sure that your next goal, whatever it might be, is going to be really able to be accomplished, and most importantly, make sure that you're set up for success and feeling good about this. So it's going to be 3 easy steps, 3 easy things to consider. And so I'm going to go into all of them in depth. And so I encourage you to really stick with me right now. And remember that this is going to be an episode that you can continue to come back to whenever you have something it is that you want. Anything that you're wanting to accomplish, remember you could always come back to this episode. So let's get started. The first thing that I want to talk about is I remember when I first started doing some coachings here at Get Seen, and we've been around now for going on 12 years, a dozen years, and we would do different bonuses. And one of the things that I used to do was a small group session that I used to give away as a bonus called Aligning Your Vision. And I really enjoyed doing it because it was a lot of fun, and I love working with actors, and I love helping actors, really just people, get what they want and feel good about it, feel more confident, feel better about their journey. And so we're doing a session of Aligning Your Vision, and it's me and a handful of other actors. And the whole idea, the homework was bring a goal, bring something that you want to work on. And I remember there was this girl, she showed up. She said, Jesse, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what I want. I've wanted it for 3 years. I'm like, okay, great. What is it? She's like, I want to get signed with People Store. And I was like, okay, you've wanted this goal for 3 years. She's like, yep, that's right. And I'm like, okay, can I ask you a question? And she's like, sure. And I said, be honest here. I said, how do you feel about this goal, getting signed with People Store, now that you've been trying to achieve it for 3 years and unfortunately you haven't? She's like, well, I guess it doesn't feel that good. It's like, exactly. I'm like, who do you know at People Store? Like personally? She's like, well, nobody. I said, so you don't have any kind of connection with any of those agents in particular? She said, no. I said, I want you to dig a little bit deeper. What do you really want? And as we kind of went back and forth, she realized that what she really wanted was professional auditions, right? She wanted bigger opportunities than the short films and the indie films that she was currently getting. And so sometimes we set ourselves up for failure in choosing, one, the goal that isn't really the goal, but most important, one that we don't actually have control over. Because if we take her story as an example, getting signed with People Store, and People Store is a great agency here. They've been here in the Southeast for a long time. Love everybody over at People Store. Shout out. But it has nothing to do with People Store. What she wanted was more opportunities, larger opportunities. She wanted to get on, a television show, book a big movie, get a cool commercial, things like that. And so it really had nothing to do with People Store. Not to mention, she has no control over really getting with People Store, right? Because maybe they already have her type. Maybe they're not taking anyone. Maybe the agency is going through a transition or a change, or you just have no idea what's going on with them. Same thing applies to bookings. I'm sure if it's the new year now, if you're watching this when this episode dropped, it's the start of 2025. I'm sure a lot of actors right now is like, I just want to book things. I just want to book more jobs this year. You don't really have control over that. You don't have control of whether or not you're the right type. You don't have control again who you're going up against. You don't have control on whether or not they hire their cousin. You have no control of whether or not they even cast that role. They might completely get rid of it. There's all these things that you have absolutely no idea about. And so you want to be setting goals that you do have control over. And this is the thing that can be tough for actors, is that our profession doesn't work like other professions. Because if you take, I'll just say McDonald's or something, you might start as the person that's like at the fryer or something, right? And then you get a promotion and they're like, now you're going to be with the people. And then you're the cashier. And then you're the assistant manager. And then you're the manager. And then, it goes up. You climb the ladder, if you will. That's not how it works as an actor, right? And so we have to figure out how to set ourselves up for success. We have to figure out how to make sure that we are on a projected route that is going to make us feel good. That's going to give us confidence in ourselves. That's going to give us momentum. And so if we're focusing on these super, super specific goals that we actually do not have control over, like sign with a specific agent, book a job, there's these things that, like, we just don't have real control over it. If we don't have real control over it, then we won't feel empowered as individuals, as artists, as people. So the first thing I want you to think about when you are setting a goal, when there's something that you want, make sure that it's something you have 100% control over, right? So we change the I want to get signed with People store to I want to get a new agent, right? Because now you've opened yourself up to get a bunch of different agents, okay? If it's book a job, we don't have as much control over booking a job as we do maybe the amount of auditions that we can get, right? So make it more about getting more auditions. So you want to put yourself in the situation to win. So make sure when you are beginning this goal setting formula that you are setting a goal that you actually have control over. Actors, listen up. The Southeast is one of the top markets in the film and TV industry, and get ready for a career transformation like never before. Walk away with leveled up mindset and unshakable confidence. Breakout workshops to elevate your craft, incredible agents and casting directors who will help shape your career path. This is more than just a weekend. This is your chance to build on your craft and grow your community. The career you want starts here. The question is, are you ready to own it? There's a story that I absolutely love. And so it's a story about this guy that he is a successful guy. He's got a lot of money, owns his own company. And so he wants to go, he heard about studying with the monks, spending some time with the monks. And so he goes over to Asia. And he spends some times at this monastery and with the monks. And so he shows up there and he's really excited. He heard that it's this unbelievable thing and it's this temple that's like on a mountain and it's just absolutely beautiful. And so he gets there and he's like, wow, this is going to be incredible, right? He's really, really excited. And so he's walking up this path as he's getting ready to enter the doors, and he sees different monks doing different jobs. Some of them are like gardening. Some of them are just sitting over meditating. Some of them are doing some stretches and some exercises. And so there's like little, groups of monks in different areas doing different things. And so he gets in and I guess there's this head monk or whoever he's there to talk to. And he says, hey, I'm really excited to be here. So, what's going to happen? What should I do? And the monk stares at him for a moment and he says, why don't we have you close the doors right as the sun is going down? And that's going to be at exactly 7:01 p.m. And so he's like, okay, great. So just close the doors. He's like, at 7:01. He's like, right, 7:01. Okay, got it. So he's, hanging out during the day, looking at everyone kind of doing their own things. And he's just kind of hanging out. And he's like really taking the moment to just take everything in. And he's really enjoying himself. And he realizes the sun's getting, starting to go down. And it's almost 7:01. And so the sun has gone down. And it's almost 7:01. And then right at 7:01, boom, he shuts the door. But right as he's shutting the door, this shooting star goes by. And this feeling goes through him. And he's like, oh my gosh, wow. He's like, that was incredible. And the door's shut. And he's like, I understand why they told me to come here. This is just, I've never felt anything like this. This type of feeling and awareness in myself. And this is going to be incredible. And so the next day he wakes up, he goes to the monk. He's like, thanks so much for letting me close the door. That was absolutely incredible. I loved it. And he's like, good, awesome. Well, why don't we have you close the door again tonight? And he goes, absolutely. So he hangs out throughout the day and he starts to do some meditations and stretches and whatnot. And so sun's going down. 7:01's almost there. 7:01 comes. He shuts the door. Nothing happens. And he's like, okay, well, that wasn't as good as last night, but all right. So the next day he wakes up, goes to the monk. He says, what should I do today? And he says, why don't we have you shut the door again? And he's like, okay, all right. So as 7:01's coming that day, he's like, man, what happened? Why was the first day so magical and yesterday wasn't? I don't know. And so he's like, well, you know what? I think I remember what it was. I think I shut the door with my left hand first. Yesterday, I shut the door with my right hand. I got to shut the door with my left hand. So 7:01 comes up, left hand first, then right hand, boom, shut the door. Nothing happens, no shooting star, nothing like that. Next day, the monk says, why don't we have you shut the door again? He's like, all right, fine. He's like, what the heck is going on? He's like, you know what? I got it all wrong. I shut them at the exact same time. It wasn't left then right or right then left. It was actually the exact same time. I got to do it right. 7:01 comes, boom, shut the door at the exact same time. Nothing happens. He just shut the door. And he's like, what is going on? So the next day he asked the monk, hey, can I do something else? I'd like to do something else. I've already shut the door. I get it. He goes, I think we should have you shut the door again. He's like, I'd really like to do something else. He's like, I think you should shut the door. He says, fine. 7:01 comes. He's like, all right, just maybe there's another shooting star, but I just missed it. So I'm really going to pay attention to the sky this time. He's getting ready to shut the door. Same time, looks at the sky. He's even squinting a little bit, make sure he doesn't miss anything. Shuts the door. Nothing happens. The next day, the monk says, we should have you shut the door again. He goes, I don't want to shut the door. I've already shut the door all week. I don't understand. He says, do you want me to tell you why you're so frustrated shutting the door? He goes, yes. You keep having me shut the door. You know I don't want to shut the door. And so he says, the first time you shut the door, it was magical because it was the first time that you did it. And it was great. And each day after that, you keep being in search for a feeling that you already felt. You keep trying to go back to what has already happened. That's why you're so frustrated. Because every single time you shut the door, there might not be a shooting star. Every single time isn't going to feel like the first time. And this is a really, really incredible story when it comes to our goals. Because the biggest reason people don't accomplish their goals is because there's 3 phases to goal setting. One is like this excitement phase, right? It's the first time you shut the door. You're like, yeah, you have your goal of, this year is going to be different with my acting. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be in the best shape ever. Whatever it might be, you're amped up. You have this dopamine rush of excitement of what it is you want to accomplish, what it is that you want to do. But then the rest of the week of closing the door comes, which is the second phase to goal setting, the mundane phase. And the mundane phase is exactly that, mundane. You're like, ah, right? And so you have to know that that is going to be there. You cannot keep going back to the original feeling of like, this is awesome. I'm so excited to be doing this. you have to understand that that journey is gonna be a journey, and you have to really welcome it. You know, we did a goal setting session last week, and if you're not already subscribed to our email list, be sure to subscribe. We send different free events and different, let you know everything that we're doing at the studio. But this was a big free event that we did. 4 hours. Casting director came and joined us. But we talked about creating this tree of our goals, right? And in the trunk of the tree was the main thing we wanted. And then the branches are mini goals and action plans and the tasks and things that we needed to do. It was a really great session that we did with hundreds of actors. It was incredible. But and I'm sure some people doing it were like, oh, yes, I've done this before. I understand what this is, right? You have your goal and you have your branches. But the thing that gets missed is the roots underneath the tree. And this brings the second thing when it comes to this goal setting that you should be doing. One, set a goal that you absolutely have control over so you can get momentum, feel good about yourself. The second thing, which is the biggest reason people don't accomplish their goals, is they're only focused on the goal, but we have to dig deeper than just the goal. What does that mean? It's like the roots of the tree. If the roots are not strong, if the roots are not there, the tree will not grow, right? We know that. We can see that analogy. I want you to think about this goal, this thing that you want, but what needs to change in you for it to actually take place, for you to actually get this? And that's what happens. Most people aren't digging deeper. And so what I mean by that is I want you to think about an attribute within yourself that you could improve. I'm a big guy when it comes to confidence, right? I feel like confidence is the key to so many different things, right? Does your confidence need to improve? Does your communication need to improve? It's interesting. So many actors, right? We're in all these acting classes. How many of you understand if you're a better communicator, you're going to be a better actor? But nobody looks at it like that. Or let me just focus on communication skills. If I communicate better, I'll be a better actor. Not only in my scene work, I'll be a better communicator within the business of the business. I'll communicate better with my agent. I'll communicate better with casting. I'll communicate better with the people around me, my friends, family, acting tribe, acting community. Do you need to be more brave? Do you need to be more assertive? Do you need to be more flexible? Do you need to be more motivated? You know, the fitness industry is this billion-dollar industry. All these different pills and workout plans and diet plans, when really people just need to be more motivated or they need to be more disciplined. But we're never working on our discipline. We're never working on our motivation. We just want to take the pill, or like, what workout do I need to do? What's the Superman workout? What's the Wolverine workout, right? Do you need to be more courageous? Do you need to be more flexible? Do you need to trust more? So when you dig deep and you think about this goal, what needs to change within you? So that's number 2. Dig deeper than your goals. So number 1 is choose a goal that you have control over. Make sure that somebody else does not have control over whether or not you achieve it. Number 2 is dig deeper than the goal. And so the third one brings me to when I first moved to Atlanta, I booked American Reunion, and I realized that Atlanta was a bit busier than I was in Florida at the time. And so I was really excited. And after I was done filming the movie, I went back to Florida and I was like, I'm going to grab my stuff and go back to Atlanta. And I had a couple of friends, Aaron and Hakeem, and I was like, hey guys, I think Atlanta's the spot. I'm going back. Do you guys want to come? And they were like, yes, let's do it. And so we went up to Atlanta. We went on Craigslist, found a house. And we remember on Craigslist, it said 3-bedroom bungalow. And the bungalow was born. Me, Hakeem, and Aaron, and we lived at the bungalow. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely would not be where I am without them. We were such a great trio in the sense of being there for one another, pushing one another, supporting one another. And there was just this unwritten kind of law or rule in the house, which was like, if someone needs something, if someone has an audition, like you drop what you're doing and you're there for them. Maybe not like that second, right? But like, it was like very important. We had a group text message and it was like, I got an audition. And then somebody would chime in, I'll be home in an hour, or I got this, or, I got you, I'll be home at 5, or whatever it was. And we did a bunch of great things together. We had a taping service together, all these different things where we were able to help each other with auditions, with, again, our us going through the business, getting out our thoughts and emotions on things. It was really great to have a soundboard. And I would say that the bungalow, my friends, slowly also, I realized that mentorship was so valuable, having a coach. And now I have a coach in like everything that I do. Like I have a trainer for my dogs even, like with my business, with my acting, with my workouts, with my health. And because I've realized that when you have someone helping you, like you move forward faster, like period. And so the third thing is like, don't do this alone. Like, don't walk it alone. Don't go after the goal alone. 1, it's not nearly as fun, right? 2, it's going to take longer. You need people there for you. It feels better. I can assure you. And so the third one is make sure that you don't walk this alone. So when you are putting together a goal, I really encourage you, when you're evaluating this goal, 1, make sure it's one that someone does not have control of. You have control over it. The second thing is dig deeper. It's not just about the goal. There's something in you that must change, because if you want something you don't have, you have to do something you're not doing. And that we are an average of who we are, right? You have an average. I have an average. LeBron James has an average. We can go down the line of people. And what that simply means is, based on the things that they're doing each and every day, makes up who they are. Well, if you want to get to the next level of your life, then you're going to have to change something. And that's where number 2 is coming in, where you got to dig deeper than your goals. And then the next thing that's going to help fast track you, kind of supercharge you getting what you want. And even more than getting what you want, but I think reaching further than you can even imagine, is having that support system, having that person or group of people that are there to help you, push you forward. And so that's number 3, which is don't walk it alone. Get that accountability, get that support. So I hope so much that you've enjoyed this. If you did, hit me up on Instagram. Let me know that you have heard this, that this helped you in some way. It's at Jesse Malinowski. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to, give you a ping back and a little bit of support. And I encourage you that if this episode was powerful for you, 1, make sure to save it for the next time you want to put together a goal setting session for yourself. There's something that you want to achieve, whether it be January, midway through the year, at July, it doesn't matter when. The moment is now to go after what you want. So many people wait until the beginning of the year. I had specific goals that I knew I wanted to start in January, but it was December. And I'm like, why am I waiting till January? I'm going to start right now. December, let's do it. So it doesn't matter what month it is. It's time, right? Don't put a hold on your dreams. Don't put a timeout on what you want. Don't wait on the sidelines. Don't say I'll do it when, because that when never happens. It's now. Take action now. So make sure to save this episode so you can listen to it again anytime you want to put together a goal session for yourself. You feel like you need a little bit of motivation. And then please send it to somebody that you care about. If there's somebody that you are walking this journey with, that you both like to stay motivated together, hold one another accountable, send it to them and say, hey, listen to this, and we can chat about it. And we can put together our goals, and we can kind of follow this formula together and talk about it. So Send it to a friend and listen to it when you need to. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate your time. I want you to know it does not go unnoticed that you've spent some of your time with me, because your time is one of your most valuable assets. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me be on your journey. And make sure to subscribe so you can get all of our episodes and really serve your journey in a positive way. I wish you the best. You got this.